get the voice back. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you. The voice should ring from these walls and come back to us. And that is how we know that the voice has power. Now today we will be looking at various ways in which we can use our voice. Now we modulate our voice every day. You modulate it whenever you go to watch a movie. Think about that. I will reveal the secret behind this in the end. You modulate your voice sometimes when you're trying to get something and you're not getting it. For example, I went to a tea stall and said in a very gentlemanlikely, "Sir, one tea please." Among the crowd and the clamor in that place, I was not heard until I said, "Excuse me, one tea please." And now I had the attention of the man and I got my tea immediately. My friends, we have a power in our voice because we can use it in many different ways. The way you speak with a little child, maybe your daughter, your son or a niece, is very different as compared to how you speak with your boss. There are tones in our voice that we use in specific circumstances. Let's say you're having a one-on-one with your manager. Would you prefer to have a higher tone or a normal tone? Normal tone, right? Now, but you need to emphasize what you have done. In that case, without raising your voice, you can still put your point across by changing the pace, by telling a story that I logged into the server, it was about to crash, and it was only because you sent me to that training last week, I was able to save that server, and now our client has saved millions of dollars. So thank you for that. In this case, I have changed the pace of the speech a little bit higher at the beginning to identify that the movements or the pace at which the event was happening, it was really fast. And I took a pause in the end to make sure that we emphasize on what's happening in the end. In every sentence that you speak, sometimes you emphasize a certain word and you take a whisper at some of the other words. Some of us learn to do this over time as you observe other speakers. Some of us don't learn at all and they keep talking in the same tone. I have some friends, when they start talking, they are always talking in this voice, and I talk like this, it is like that. And there are some people who, even if they are sitting in front of you and they are talking, I'm not able to hear. And I have to tell them, can you speak a little louder? How many of you are working on Zoom or any other remote conferencing tools with your clients or with your colleagues or with your customers? Can I have a raise of hands? Yeah. Now, in all of those situations, you are not physically present. Your voice is your representation. The way you sound on that call, you can convey many things. Even if you might be confused, you are not able to solve that issue that you have been working on for the last 20 minutes. But if that goes through your voice and they are able to identify, you might lose the control of that situation, which is so important. So today we will be looking at various methods. We are looking at 3 different dimensions of your voice and how we can control that. And those 3 dimensions are, the first one is volume. The second dimension is the pitch. And the third dimension is the speed. So we'll look at all of them. And for that, I'm going to request for some volunteers. Who will be the first volunteer for this exercise? Milind raised his hand first. Okay, I have many volunteers. We have many sentences. We have an entire book here which is filled with sentences. We'll be using this to read some of the sentences and define volume, how you can control volume on different words. So Milind, can you be the first volunteer? I need you to read the first sentence here like a robot. Like, I am Milind. This is how I talk.
Plant exploring botanical world brings together more than 300 outstanding botanical words.
I think that's enough. Did you understand what he was saying? No. Because all of the words are in the same voice. all of them are in the same frequency. You're not able to distinguish which word is important, which one is not. Now, out of the first sentence here, which one do you think needs the word need to go a little bit higher? Which one will you pop it up?
First word, exploding.
Okay? And
It's the botanical
okay?
word of.
Botanical word. See, we think in word groups. We think in thoughts. We think in a group of words. So when you are talking, you're not going to talk in your mother tongue and then going to translate that and then talk it out. That'll be too much of a delay. Whenever you think in paragraphs. So when you think in paragraphs, you already have the content here. All you need to do is spend a little bit of more time and control which word you're going to go up. Now, let's do the same thing and this time bring botanical word up and more than 300 outstanding word up. Let's try it again.
Plant exploding the botanical world brings together more than 300 outstanding botanical works of art.
Okay, let's stop there. Thank you. Please take a seat. Okay? And yes, thank you. The sentence was plant exploring the botanical world that brings together more than 300 outstanding botanical works of art from various walks of life. Now, in this sentence, there were certain words like 300 different words, 300 different variations. That was the important word. And another important word was the name of this book. Now, why are we listening to this? The reason we are listening to this is when each of you are going to give your speeches, when you're going to read a story to your daughter, or you're going to read a paragraph while you deliver a report, you know certain words in that report are more important than the others. For example, if I have to say that we opened 5 different clubs in the last year, we had 3 DTMs and we had many more new members. In this sentence, 5 new clubs, very important. 3 DTMs, even more important. So we had 5 new clubs, 3 DTMs and many more new members. Now the voice kept up and it went down. In certain places, you need the voice to go a bit down. For that, I need one more volunteer. I think you had raised your hand. Let's go. Your name? Sudesh. Please come. Please read the next sentence first in your mind and tell me which, start from here, which words will you want to move down? Yeah, sure. Now we are focusing on bringing the words down. Sometimes you need a whisper to make sure that that word is really important because it grabs the attention of the speaker or the audience.
Plant features artworks by artists from United States, Europe, China and India, recording everything from garden plants to rare and exotic species from South America and Africa.
Fantastic! Please take a seat. Very important. Now, where can you use this technique here? In every speech, you have moments of action. If I'm going to tell you the story where Arjuna killed or rather hit the bullseye or the bird's eye and the bird fell down and he won the medal, in that case, the moment he gets the medal, that's the cliche moment. That is the main moment of that story. And that's the moment where you need the attention of the entire audience. And a lot of times, our body responds to sound in different ways. How many of you have had goosebumps when you listen to our national anthem? Yeah? Now, that was not intended when Rabindranath Tagore wrote that song in his Gitanjali book. But when it was adapted as our national anthem and someone put a nice tune around it, and in the end, when you say, Jaya He, Jaya He, Jaya He, Jaya, 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 Jaya He, you are using your voice, going up, going down, doing it without knowing it. When you're listening to your favorite song, when you're alone in the car, and you got the beats, and now you are in sync with that song. You are using your voice to the fullest, because you can be childlike when you are alone. But what if you can do that here on the stage? What if you can do that when you are on the calls, but you should know where to use it? For example, the speech that you just delivered, the moment you receive the call from your sister, for sister, is that right? Yeah. So with the moment you receive the call, your voice changed, because now you are not having a normal conversation. The situation was different. It was a grief. And during grief, the pace in which when you talk is different. For example, how will you say that, Mom, I got a new job, to your mother? Why don't you say?
Mom, I got a new job.
Yeah. So what you did there was a pace.
Excitement.
Exactly. Excitement is shown by the pace of your voice. In certain situations, the words can be grouped together so that your excitement is shown through the words. Because in the end, what are words? They're nothing but wrappers around our emotions. Sometimes we can't find the right wrappers, sometimes we struggle for ones. Now, I want one more volunteer, and this time we are going to do the pacing exercise, the second dimension to the voice. Yes, please come. So he's going to do, you can go through the sentence. Now what he's going to do is, he's going to go through the sentence, with the first half he's going to go super fast, and in the end, he will go slow. In your speeches, when you deliver a message, in every speech, be it a contest speech, be it an evaluation, or be it a table topic, whenever you are delivering a message, let's say you are going to talk about importance of reading books, and you have given the example that I have read 3 books so far and I really got a lot of knowledge from that. But my friends, when you read a book, I need you to remember what you read from that book than the number of books that you read. So in this case, you wanted to emphasize on the message. When you want to emphasize something, you slow it down. What causes all the fireworks in the sky? The lightning. It is caused by the change in pressure. When 2 clouds of different pressures are around each other, that friction causes the lightning. And any friction creates energy. In this case as well, when you go super fast and you go slow, that creates energy. That creates energy in the minds of your audience. And that is how you can hold that audience together. So let's hear from you. Ready?
Arranged in complementary or contrasting pairs to the great thought-provoking juxtapositions, Plant includes the greatest names in botanical illustrations, including the Raphael Flowers, Pierre Joseph Ridout, Sidney Parkinson, who accompanied James Cook on his first voyage to the Pacific, and influential Margaret Mead, alongside work by celebrated artists and photographers such as Araki, Carl Blossett, Adam Fuss, Nick Knight, Yako Kusama, and Thomas Ruff.
Stop there. Now, in this sentence, you can see there are multiple thoughts put into the same sentence. When you are writing a script, when you are writing a speech or any story, the easiest way to write is to write simple sentences and then you put it together. But when you are writing a complicated speech where you are delivering multiple messages, that is where you will have more and more complicated messages with you in the same sentence. So how do you interpret that? Sometimes you don't have the liberty to choose your sentences because you are reading a report written by someone else, like he is reading a book which is written by someone else. He doesn't have the liberty to choose small sentences. Then you have to bring it down and you have to break it down and then bring it up together. For example, in this case, what is needed is the power of pauses. So pauses is silence. So after this I'll be talking about the power of silence. Now, in this case you can see until it comes to pairs, it is one thought. Arranged in complicatory or contrasting pairs, to create thought-provoking juxtapositions. Plant includes the greatest names in the botanical illustration, including, and then we have many names that go forward. So yes, thank you. So whenever, so the next time you are reading something, try and identify what are the points we want to go high, where you want to slow down. Now silence is golden. A lot of times you can talk really fast about a cricket match that was going on where Dhoni was on the strike. We needed 6 runs from 2 balls, and when he got the Yorker, he hit the ball on the top and it went beyond the boundary and we got the World Cup. Sometimes silence speaks much more than what words can say. And that's where Mahatma Gandhi had said, don't start talking until you are done with silence. Because a lot of times silence can get you through many of the toughest of the situations where the other person is contemplating what are you going to say next. And to keep your mind engaged, to keep your audience's mind engaged is the primary purpose of you as a speaker. All of us are Toastmasters, and we as Toastmasters, we speak for 2 to 3 minutes in table topics, 1 to 2 minutes in table topics, 2 to 3 minutes in an evaluation, and 5 to 7 minutes in a normal prepared speech. But what if you are speaking for 30 minutes? What if you have to deliver a lecture for 1 hour? How do you hold that attention of your audience? It can be happening by doing a lot of pictures. And when I say pictures, you're painting a picture in front of your audience. For example, if you're telling the story, now just like any painting, when you paint that painting and it is ready, before you do another layer, you have to let it dry. If you start painting without drying, then it's going to get smudged. So the audience is also something similar. When you deliver a message to the audience, whatever is your key message of your story, of your script, give a pause. Let the audience contemplate the meaning of that message. Because sometimes, some audience is still thinking about it and you start rummaging with your words again and they might lose that connection that you built so hard by using your voice, by using the stage, by using your body language. Now, body language is another way. For example, earlier I said, when you sing the national anthem, you get goosebumps, which means your voice is now reflecting on your body. Same way, your body reflects on your voice as well. When you're sitting down and you're having a telephonic conversation, imagine that, and now imagine you stand up and you start talking with your hands are going up, you're using your full body language, your diaphragm is now getting expanded, you have more oxygen coming in. And as Aaron Beverly, the world champion of public speaking, when he came to coronation, he said that the key to your power of speech is how you control your breath. You will see a lot of speakers, when they are talking, they run out of breath. Because it's just like singing. If you have a long sentence to sing and you don't take a short breath in between, you're going to run out of breath. And then the rhythm that you bring is actually broken. That's why breathing is equally important. Now, before I move further, do we have any questions from the audience? Because I can already see that the yellow card was up, which means I have less than a minute. So any questions from the audience, or when you were doing your speeches, what did you come across, or when did you come across a situation where you felt, I don't know how to modulate this voice, or I'm not sure how to go further on this? Yes?
What is the best way to practice voice modulation apart from giving speeches in a group?
Sure.
Like for example, it could be over the phone as well when you're talking to someone.
Yeah.
What could be the appropriate time?
I would say sing the national anthem and monitor your voice. In your mind, you do it. I did it just now before coming on the stage, and I was monitoring how the voice goes up and down. Sing your favorite song, but this time consciously monitor your own voice, the pitch, the tone, the speed at which you sing. Sometimes, how many of you like Gully Boy songs? Okay, it's a rap song which are like super fast, and in between they take a small pause. What is your favorite album?
Favorite album?
by Rahman.
Brian Adams.
Brian Adams, yeah. So when he sings, whatever I do it for you. I think that's one of his songs. Yes. So when that song is going on as well, you can look at the pace and the tempo. Now, after all of this that you have learned today, the best way to practice is, the best way to actually keep it with you is by practicing. I would recommend all of you to go and look at any one simple story, as simple as the tortoise and the hare. And the best way to know where to go fast and where to go slow, look at the verbs. Wherever you see verbs, that is where action is happening. That's where friction is going to come. And when you see that the rabbit started running away and he was really close to the finishing line and he thought, I'm going to win anyway. I might as well take a little nap. And then he slept. Now in this story as well, you look at the verb, you look at the nap. So looking at the words, you group them together and identify where am I going to control my voice, where am I going to take that pause, because that extra pause, there's another small technique that I would like to share with all of you. In every sentence, you can pop out a single word by adding a pause before and after it.
Example?
Example would be, I am really proud of one song in our country, and that is the national anthem of our country. So in that case, I added a pause before and after. Did you guys feel that the word was elevated? So that effect is actually understood by the audience as you are on the stage with your body language. So the next time you go to watch a movie, try and modulate your voice. The next time you are writing a speech, try and make sure that you identify the emotions and try and make sure that your voice is in sync with your emotions. Otherwise, it might sound like, I am really sad today that I have lost my job.
I have a question.
Yes.
See, many times I thought like, if we try to thread that vocal variety in our speech, what if it turned out to be an artificial way? If we couldn't able to sing with that voice and that story or that speech. So it's not.
So the best way to do that is practice, because a lot of times when you actually try to do it impromptu and you have not practiced, then you are processing all of those functions on the spot. All we do is muscle memory. All we do is the neurotic connections that we have. If you practice something, then the neural connections are already there. And the next time you are using it, you're not making new connections on the stage. You're using the existing ones. That's what makes practice man perfect. Any questions more than this? I would be more than happy to take after the calls or after the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aniket, for such an insightful session on how we can use our voice as such a powerful tool to leave an impression, to also get across the message.